Larry David couldn't make it out tonight. His enthusiasm was curbed more than anyone originally thought. My name is Thomas, but if I had said Josh or Chris, no one would have questioned it. It's great to be here in Warrenton, not to be confused with Warrant Town, aka Henderson. I recently turned 30 years old, so I'm looking for the fountain of youth. A few years ago, I moved to Youngsville, but nothing happened. It didn't work out. I don't think there's any young people in Youngsville right now. The last girl I was attracted to, they made me feel very special, like I was the only person who was not in the room. I'm wearing New Balance sneakers because I like to drink a lot of alcohol, and I don't like the balance that alcohol gives me, so I try to get a New Balance. An alcoholic will do everything except quit drinking. They'll, wear certain sneakers. They'll take like liver supplements. But if you ask them to quit drinking, they'll say, "Look, I got it under control." And an alcoholic should not drive on the road to recovery. Although it does make for a great story to tell the officer when you get pulled over. "Son, where are you heading?" "I'm heading to recovery." "Where are you coming from?" "Mill Hill." You were driving in the wrong lane." "Well, I was stopping someone from going back to the bar, so I think that should be commended." I got off work today. Anybody else go to work today?
Woo!
Very good. I was actually recently lost out on a job opportunity though. I was involved in high-level negotiations to be the chief marketing officer of Iran, but I lost out. I failed the background check, and they picked a band from the 80s called A Flock of Seagulls. That's for the Gen X's and the baby boomers. Speaking of baby boomers, they had Social Security, and millennials have anti-social insecurity, also known as AI. Jeffrey Dahmer was not a perfect person, but you can't say that the man didn't bring brains to the table. I recently got a PET scan, not to be confused with a domesticated companion animal scan, and they were playing music. When you go to a PET scan, they play music. So the guy before me, he had a song called "Spirit in the Sky" by Norm Greenbaum, and if I'm in there having a PET scan, that's not really the song I want to hear. You gotta be a little more optimistic than that, but hopefully that guy made it out okay, and maybe he got married to some beautiful woman, and for the processional at the wedding, they played "Last Resort" by Papa Roach. But speaking of the PET scan, the results were NED, no evidence of dollars. Those things can really get expensive. And then the other PET scan I got was from my landlord. He thought I had a cat, but it was just one of those feral cats that wanders around the neighborhood. You may find this somewhat hard to believe, but I am a psychiatric patient. But I'm an outpatient, so that's okay. That means I was in, but they got out, and now they're looking for me. And they ask you a lot of questions the first time you go to the psychiatrist, even though the reason that you're there is just to get medications that you used to get off of other people in high school, but now you want to do things the right way. And one of the questions they ask you is, are you or anyone on your family on the spectrum? And I said, well, I used to be on Spectrum, but now I'm on Roku. I still use it for internet though, but not for cable. No one ever asked you if you were on the Time Warner, in the old days. Another thing they ask you is, have you thought about harming yourself recently? I'm like, well, this appointment's at 9:30 in the morning, so I'm feeling all right now. But if you ask me later in the day, I might have a different answer for you. I've been watching the news lately. They have a lot of stuff in the news because if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to have jobs in the news. And one of the news sources I've been following is I recently started looking at the Associated Press, because every time you watch the news, it's always from the Associated Press. So why don't I get it from the horse's mouth? And the reason the Associated Press is able to stay above water is because they have a strict no ketamine policy. That would make them the disassociated press. The reason that this one might bother some people, but no one's really here, so if I offend you, just don't forget all about it. The reason that Jerry Seinfeld never got into ketamine is because he doesn't keep up with friends. That one went above some people's heads just like bath water when you're on ketamine. That went on too long, just like a ketamine trip. Because if you are in the bathtub, it goes on permanently. I think that's everything. Thank you very much.